Hello everyone. In this session we will see one numerical on formation of the Y bus by using singular transformation method. Let us see the problem statement. Determine Y bus by using singular transformation for the system with the data as follows. So they have provided element number which refers to the transmission line number. We have 5 transmission lines and the bus code P to Q, where P refers to the from bus and Q refers to the to bus. Self admittance in per unit. It is a line admittance, so they have not given any mutual admittance. It is the self admittance of that particular line. First transmission line is connected between 0 bus to the first bus, having the self admittance of 1.2 per unit. Second bus is connected between first bus to the second bus and having the self admittance of 1.6 per unit. Third transmission line is connected between second bus to the third bus. The direction also according to that you have to give. That means all the first buses will act as a from buses, all the second buses will act as a to bus. That means it will start from the first bus and travels towards the second bus. And the fourth transmission line is connected between 2 to 0 and having self admittance of 1.8 per unit, and the fifth transmission line is connected between third bus to the 0 and having the self admittance of 2.4 per unit. And the formula for the Y bus by using a singular transformation, Y bus equal to A transpose Y into A. So where A refers to the bus incidence matrix and Y refers to the primitive admittance matrix. Okay, you know already the primitive admittance matrix will be formed between number of elements to the number of elements. Okay, so here we have 5 elements. So the dimension of the Y matrix will be 5 by 5 matrix, and A matrix will be formed between number of elements to the number of buses. Okay, here you can see how many number of buses are available means we have 0 to 3. So totally we have 4 nodes are there. If you consider one of this bus as a reference bus, then the actual buses will be only 3 buses. So let us see how to do this problem. First and foremost, whatever the problem that you are going to do, which is having the incidence matrix, first you need to form the graph from the given data. So now let us see, here we have totally 4 nodes starting from 0 to 3. So let us mark all the 4 nodes 0, 1, 2 and 3. If you see here, the first element is connected between 0 to 1 and the second element is between 1 to 2. Third element is connected between 2 to 3 and the fourth element is between 2 to 0 and the fifth element is connected between 3 to 0. Now let us mark the self admittances given in the problem. First element is having self admittance of 1.2 and the second element is having 1.6 and the third element, which is between 2 to 3, is having self admittance of 2.2 and the fourth transmission line, that is which is connected between 2 to 0, is having 1.8 and the fifth element is having 2.4. Now we have completed the graph from the given data. Now we need to form the primitive admittance matrix Y. We know that the primitive admittance matrix is formed between the number of elements to the number of elements. So let us take that. Always the primitive admittance matrix will be represented by small y. This differentiation is very important in the low flow studies. Okay, the capital Y represents the bus admittance matrix and the small y represent the primitive admittance matrix. Let us represent that. So it is a matrix which is formed between elements to elements. We have here 5 elements. So let us represent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and similarly the columns also with respect to the elements only. Finally, the dimension of the primitive admittance matrix will be 5 by 5 matrix. If we have any mutual admittance values between any lines, then you can have the off diagonal elements. So since they haven't given any mutual admittance value, so we no need to represent any off diagonal elements. Whatever the given values, these are the diagonal quantities with respect to that particular line. That means here you will have only y11, y22, y33, y44 and y55. So these all remaining off diagonal elements will become 0 because we don't have any mutual admittance between the lines. So y11 means that is the self admittance of the first transmission line. y22 means the self admittance of the second transmission line, like that. y55 means the self admittance of the fifth transmission line. What we need to do means we need to arrange these admittance values diagonally according to the element wise. Let us do that. So the first element is 1.2 and the second element is 1.6. y33 is 2.2 and y44 1.8 and y55 is 2.4. So the remaining all values will be 0. So this is a very simple primitive admittance matrix. In the equation y bus we have A transpose y into A. So now we got the primitive admittance matrix. Now we need to find out the bus admittance matrix. Let us do that. So I have taken the same graph. So now we don't want the self admittance values, just we need the geometrical representation of the graph. Okay. So how many lines are there, from which node to which node it is connected, and what is the direction. So now let us form the bus incidence matrix. So that is A. This bus admittance matrix will be formed between number of elements to the number of buses. Here we have 5 elements and 3 buses because we are considering this 0 as a reference bus. If you recall the concept of incidence matrices, there I have explained you, whenever you are performing the element node incidence or the bus incidence matrix, you have to check node wise how many elements are connected to a particular node. That means how many elements are incident to a particular node. So for that, first let us mark the element numbers. So we have, it is a first element and here it is a second, third, fourth and the fifth element. Now for the first bus, element number 1 and 2 are connected. So definitely we will have the 1 and 2 elements, the 1 value. Remaining values will be 0 because it is not directly connected to my first node. But more important, the polarity also you need to check whether it is a +1 or -1. So for that we should know the direction of these two lines. Let us take the first element is connected between reference node to the first node. So that is 0 to first node. The direction will be towards the first bus, and if you look at the second element is connected between 1 to 2, therefore the direction also from 1 to 2. So if you observe, the first element direction is into the node and the second element direction is away from the node. Therefore, first element will carry the -1 and the second element will carry the +1, and the remaining 3, 4, 5 elements will be equal to 0. Now look at the second bus. At second bus we have elements 2, 3, 4 connected. So obviously the 2, 3, 4 elements will have a 1. To find out whether it is a +1 or -1, let us check for the directions. Now the second element is traveling towards the node, so it will have a -1. And the third element is connected between 2 to 3. So the direction is away from the second node. So the third element with respect to the second bus is positive. Coming to the fourth element, which is connected between 2 to reference node, 2 to 0. So the direction is away from the second node. So the fourth element will be +1 and remaining two values will be 0. Coming to the third bus, elements 3 and 5 are connected. Third element direction is towards the third bus, that will be -1, and fifth element direction, if you see, it is connected between 3 to 0, so the direction will be away from the third bus, so that will be +1. Remaining all values will be 0. So this is a very simple and easy formation of the bus incidence matrix. Y bus equal to A transpose Y into A. So we need to find out the A transpose also. By taking the A transpose, we will have all the columns will be represented as a rows. So now this is the required A transpose. Now we have determined all required matrices. Now let us substitute all these values into the equation. By substituting the values, this is A transpose Y into A. Now let us do the matrix multiplication. So first what I am going to do is, first I will multiply these two matrices, the resultant, then I will multiply with this matrix. First row you multiply with each and every column. So you will have -1 into 1.2 and 1 into 0 and remaining all 0. So that will be -1.2. Now with respect to the second column, you have -1 into 0, 0, 1 into 1.6, 1.6 and remaining all values will be 0. So the second value is 1.6. Now with respect to the third column, if you take 0, okay, wherever you have a finite values, there we have a zeros, okay. Remaining values, here we have a zeros, so whatever it is this side, it will be 0. The next value is 0. So the next two columns also, if you multiply, you will get 0 and 0. Now let us multiply this second row with the first column. So you will have a 0 into 1.2, 0. Remaining all values are 0. So that will be a 0. Next, if you multiply with the second column, you will have 0 into 0, 0. -1 into 1.6 will be -1.6. Then remaining all values are 0 here. Next, if you multiply with the third column, you will have 0 into 0, -1 into 0, 0. 1 into 2.2 will be 2.2. Then remaining all values will be 0. So you will have only 2.2. Next, if you multiply with the fourth column, first 3 are 0. So the fourth one is, in the fourth place we have 1. 1 into 1.8 will be 1.8. The next one is 0. So you will have only 1.8. Now with respect to the fifth column, if you do, fifth column we have a 0. 0 into 2.4 will be 0. Now with respect to the third row, if you multiply third row with first column, you will have 0. Then 0 into 0, 0, 0 into 1.6, 0 and remaining all values are 0. So finally you will have a 0. Then 0, 0, -1 into 2.2 will be -2.2 and the remaining two values are 0. That's it, we will have -2.2. Now with respect to the fourth column, if you take, here first 3 zeros are there, whatever is there it will be a 0. Then the next one is 0 into 1.8 will be 0, 1 into 0 will be 0. So finally you will have 0. And with respect to the last column, we have in the fourth position alone we have a value. In the fifth position alone you have a value. So here also in the fifth position we have a 1. So 1 into 2.4 will be 2.4. So this is the resultant matrix by multiplying the first two matrices. And into, we will take this matrix as it is. Now let us do the multiplication of these two matrices. So we need to multiply the first row with respect to the first column. -1.2 into -1 will be +1.2. 1.6 into 1 will be +1.6. Remaining all values are 0. So first value is 1.2 plus 1.6. And let us multiply with respect to the second column. minus 1.2 into 0, 1.6 into minus 1 will be equal to minus 1.6. Remaining all three values are 0. Now if you multiply with respect to the third column, we will have 0. Now with respect to the second row, if you take second row first column, you will have minus 1.6, and second row second column, you will have minus 1.6 into minus 1 will be 1.6 plus 2.2 plus 1.8, 0 into 0 will be 0. So totally we have 1.6 plus 2.2 plus 1.8. Now with respect to the third column, if you take minus 2.2, that's it. So because we have only the third position alone is having value. Now if you take the last row, that is the third row with respect to all the three columns, we will have first one will be a minus 0, 0, it will be a 0. Now with respect to the second column, you will have a 0, 0 into minus 1, 0, minus 2.2 into 1 will be minus 2.2, and the last column if you take minus into minus 2.2 into minus 1 will be 2.2 plus 2.4 into 1 will be 2.4. Finally, you will have 2.2 plus 2.4. Finally, the Y-bus matrix can be represented as 1.2 plus 1.6 will be equal to 2.8 and minus 1.6, 0. Off diagonal values will come as it is, and 1.6 plus 2.2 plus 1.8 is equal to 5.6 minus 2.2, 0 minus 2.2. So here we have 4.6. So this is the required Y-bus matrix which we have determined by using the singular transformation method. I hope it is clear. Thank you.